Warning, warning. The show will begin in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You are now watching MCdorks Pop.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, we gotta change that intro because we are no longer McDorks Pop, but we haven't been doing much live, so we didn't feel necessary. But we're here. We miss you guys.
Yes.
We miss talking a lot, rambling and yada yada yadas.
Gotta love the rambling.
Yes, but let's go ahead and get our friend out here.
Oh my god, look at that. Like, there was a special intro. Like, I feel so honored. That's so sweet. I loved it. Thank you very much.
For those who don't know, this is Brittany's Magic Trunk, aka Brittany, aka Brit, aka the knowledge book of all. I always feel like you're like encyclopedia, like always coming out with the facts. But yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself just in case there's someone out there that I don't know, which I don't know how, but yeah, go ahead.
No, that was a great introduction. First of all, thank you all so much for inviting me to be here on this Black Panther Wakanda Forever pod. This is going to be a lot of fun. I love the movie. I do love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm just very grateful to be here. But as Christian said, I am Brittany, aka Britt, aka Brittany's Magic Trunk. I do have a YouTube channel here that deals with all things Harry Potter and the wizarding world, from unboxing, subscription boxes, DIYs, Lego builds. Occasionally, my dog Luna will make an appearance in my videos, but that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I mean, I love doing what I do and love Harry Potter, and I've got to meet some great people, including MCdorks and people in the chat, geeking out with Melly Mel and Ollivander's Wands. I love the Potter community. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun doing this for the last year and a few months, but I'm really excited to talk more about Wakanda Forever.
Yes, and before we do, we want to go ahead and say hello to Ana Reyes. How is it going? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenido al live de nosotros. And we also have Amber. How's it going? I know we were talking with Amber the other day about the recent movie that came out of Disenchanted, and I knew she was going to go crazy for that wand. What spoilers about that if you haven't seen it, but I feel like it was a good movie. I know there's a mixed reviews out there.
Amazing movie.
But it was an amazing movie, amazing writing for the songs, especially. The lyrics were just beautiful. Have you seen that movie yet, Brittany?
I have not, and I'm such a fake Disney fan right now because I haven't. If I've seen Enchanted, I don't remember it all that well, so I need to go back and watch Enchanted so that I can watch Disenchanted, and then I can give you my thoughts.
I will say though, I was not a huge fan of Disenchanted. I felt like, to me, it was like a straight to DVD movie. But meeting Michael, I did rewatch it, and I don't know what I was thinking. The first one actually was pretty good. I feel like the second one did it even better. I know that, again, like I said before, there are mixed reviews out there, but I feel like you guys should go and watch it with no like expectations at all, because it was good for us. And we watched literally part one, then part two back to back. So yep. I feel like that was a good way to like actually see the transition then based on
good
memory.
Good to know. Yeah, I think that's the best way of watching movies, is having no expectations, because that's what happened for me when I was going to watch Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I mean, there's a lot that has revolved around this movie, but it's like, you know what, no expectations whatsoever. I'm just gonna watch it and then make my decision.
Yeah, and then it was an amazing movie. So one last thing, I do want to say hello to Melly Mel and Laura and Jody. If you guys are still out there, well, there's Mel. If you guys are still here, thank you so much for stopping by. I know that you guys have not watched the movie. Highly recommend it. If you have not seen it, you need to watch it. I feel like we are sporting our Marvelness here. I got Spider-Man Spirit jersey, and I see that you have a Marvel shirt. I know, Michael.
I just got weekend vibes.
What? Okay,
that's okay. This is my Marvel shirt. If it, oh, yep, maybe not.
There you go.
It's coming.
Well, there we go.
There it is. Yes.
Yes. Target for the win, y'all. Target for the win.
Like the last week when we last week when we wore our Black Panther, those are from Walmart. Guys, there's some good finds in Walmart and Target, especially Target. I love Target.
Yes.
Target is my
Target.
life.
Target.
I literally can go to Target and like just feel like I can get anything I want there. Especially in the entrance where they have like the $1, $3, $5 pile.
That's the best. I don't know.
Don't even get me
I think
started
we up
there.
Here, we've gotten more attached to like Target. But
Yeah. Hey, Pop in Hand, thank you so much for stopping by. I do want to give a big shout out to Pop in Hand. They're one of the first channels that went ahead and shouted us out. So that was a
Aw.
really good thank you to you. I think due to Pop in Hand, we got to 100 subscribers. So I appreciate that. I would never forget.
So sweet. Hello, Pop in Hand, and hello to everyone in the chat. Real quick, I want to answer Anna's question about when did I get into Harry Potter. I've been into Harry Potter since I was a child. Started with the books, then he went to the movies, and I'm 33 years old, and we're still here, still loving it.
We've been at, like with all different collections, so we kind of let Harry Potter a little behind the past few months because I feel like we were giving way too much attention.
Too much.
Yeah, but
It's not a bad thing.
we'll be jumping back into it. We'll be jumping back into it. I really, right now, literally was reorganizing on my shelf, and I was like, "Oh, how I love Harry Potter."
Mhm. I mean, but y'all's collection is so great. Like just looking at the collection behind y'all right now with all the pops and then the bags, but your Harry Potter collection, the way that y'all decorated your shelves and just laid out everything is so extremely well done. Y'all definitely have an attention to detail when it comes to displaying things. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
I mean,
Thank you.
I'm not gonna take credit for that. That's on him.
Well,
oh well, then Christian, you have an eye for
I
it.
passed him the items.
but I also ask for your opinions.
That's true. He does ask for.
I'm very like two-sided at sometimes. I cannot decipher which way I want to go. So sometimes that's Michael. I'm like, I need your help. I need you to help me decide. So
yeah.
But hey, Kenneth. But
Kenneth.
Let's jump into the conversation of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. If you guys, again, if you're not seen it, spoilers, because we're just gonna talk random things about it, about what we liked, what we did not like, what we would have liked to see, or what shouldn't have been done, or even questions you guys may have, or suggestions, or even your how do you call opinions about it. So
let's talk about the best part of the movie.
Well, it depends, because Brittany's favorite part is not even like a part; it's actually a person.
Namor?
No, is it Namor or is it you know who?
Oh, the cameo. We're talking about the cameo. You know, there's a lot about this movie that I really did enjoy, especially like the cultural aspect that was kind of introduced into this world. And so, you know, think back however many years ago it was when Black Panther came out, how that was a big cultural phenomenon for the African American community. And for this movie to incorporate a, you know, Mesoamerican, Latin American, Mayan / Aztec, I say that because it's based off Aztec lore, to incorporate that and have some, you know, representation, mi gente, come on. Like that was incredible. I really did enjoy that. But yeah, there was a lot of things to love about this movie. I was solid emotionally until we got to the mid-credit, and then I was just blubbering. And hopefully we didn't lose MCdorks, but otherwise I'm still here, everyone. So yeah, if you've seen Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, let us know what your thoughts were in the chat, and we'll be sure to share that. Like I said, I really did enjoy the cultural aspect of having a Mesoamerican culture represented. It was very refreshing to see, and the casting of Tenoch Huerta to play Namor as the quote unquote villain, because he kind of is a villain. I know when we come back, hopefully MCdorks will come back and we can talk about that a little bit more. But yeah, it's actually very well done. It's a long movie, y'all. It's almost a 3-hour movie. It's like 2 hours, 45 minutes, I believe. But yeah, so hey, they're back. Yay.
Sorry, embarrassing.
I have no idea what happened. It's just like
kind of froze, huh? It's
Yeah.
all good. It's all good. So I was just saying, basically having representation, like cultural representation for the Mesoamerican, you know, the Aztec Mayan lore, and just having, you know, mi gente representation there with Tenoch Huerta. I think he was great casting to actually have someone who, you know, looks like us to be on the big screen
Yeah.
and play this villain, because he is a villain. We can debate that here. We can start that here
Let's
and now.
debate it.
He's a
Let's
villain.
debate it. I don't think he's a villain. So
He's misunderstood.
he's misunderstood. But before we go into the conversation, I do want to say that out of the whole entire movie, other than the fact of the missing of Chadwick, that also made me tear up, especially how they did the intro and the extra, like all of it, just the simple list of like having no music, paying respect of who he was, and the fact that we are missing him from the movie and we have to move on from it. But that literally teared me up. But what made me as well tear up was the fact that we did have representation. I love the fact that, especially because of my history, I am half Mexican, and the fact that I feel like, not to take away from other credits from other countries, but we do see a lot of representation of Colombians and Puerto Ricans when it comes to being Hispanic. I don't get the very positiveness, or at least strong forms of Mexican culture, or even Mayan, or even like past. Like, I love the fact that they involve different kinds of culture into this, and oh my god, just a new character for me to like fall over, if you know what I mean, you know.
Listen, you weren't the only one, okay, boo boo. I mean, yeah, no, it's really great to have some sort of, cultural representation, someone who looks like us. And I mentioned this on my pod, so I'm one of 6 people basically on a podcast called The Watchers in the Basement. We talked about this extensively over on our channel, but to kind of remind people that Mexico, Central America was also colonized. And like, we get it. Like, we've also we've been there. And to think about the Aztecs, because like Christian, I'm not half Mexican, I'm full Mexican, but I have Aztec ancestry as well. And so to know that like my Aztec culture was represented, and those people were brutal, okay? Brutal. But it's still really cool to see that we're taking that next step into, the diversity and inclusion that is the MCU. So it was really well done. To talk really quickly about Chadwick, I'm actually glad that they didn't linger over his passing. I mean, it happened. It was it was such a shock to all of us when Chadwick passed away. I mean, I remember my husband coming into the room and telling me, he goes, Chadwick died. And I'm like, who's Chadwick? And he goes, Chadwick Boseman. I'm like, no, and I'm glad that they didn't like, they honored him well, but it was kind of like, all right, that's it. Here it is. He passed. We're going to honor him. And yes, we got that hints of here and there, Shuri's struggling with the loss of her brother, and then eventually the loss of someone else in her family. But yeah. It was still really tough to see this movie carry on without Chadwick. But I still think they did him such a great honor, especially when it comes to the mid-credits scene.
Yeah, like you were saying, the fact that they just kind of skipped over it. That was something that I was kind of questioning before going in to see the movie. It was like, how are they gonna go ahead and explain his absence now? Whether he was like retired, if you want to say, moving on, or if they actually were going to have him pass away in the movie. And if so, like, how would they done it? And I did see a leak footage or leaked script of what was supposed to be happening, which was there was supposed to be some type of disease that leaked out that was supposed to kill him and the mother. That didn't happen like that. Thankfully, they just left it to your interpretation of what happened. It wasn't really defined on how he passed away. So I'm kind of happy they didn't get anything out of that. We all knew what happened in real life. We all knew that he was not going to be in the movie. Let's step away from that, pay respects, and let's just move forward instead of making money off of his death, which I was very, very happy about that. Anna says Shuri was amazing as Black Panther, and Angela Bassett deserves an Oscar for her role as Queen Ramonda. She did an outstanding role. Oh my gosh.
I completely agree.
Let me tell you how much of a big fan of Angela. I've been watching her since I was a kid, especially when she did the movie of representing Tina Turner. I forgot the movie was called. I guess what Love got to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I just absolutely love her. But I will say, this movie, she stole it. Like, she stole, and she had 2 huge, like, big monologues that I was just like, what? I felt the pain from her, and I just literally fell in love with her again.
You definitely got her sense of power and come F with me and find out.
Yep.
Especially when she's at the United Nations and talking about the vibranium and just kind of laying down the law saying, listen, vibranium is not for other nations to have. This is Wakandan. You cannot take it. You try to take it, we are going to take that as an act of aggression and you will see us come out full force. I mean, but just from the moment she entered that room, sits down and she kind of like has this sort of posture as she's sitting, it's like, oh, she came in like ready to fight.
Mhm.
And I'm like, Angela Bassett, girl, first of all, the woman is flawless. Okay. She's 64 years old.
She
Doesn't
ever
look a 64 years old. And she, listen, this is part of what I do. I mean, I do the research, but she isn't a day over 30. Like that woman just has aged so gracefully, but she will cut you, right? She will cut you. And especially the second scene that you're referring to with great monologues when she's stripping Okoye of her general title of the Dora Milaje, and just you felt her pain. You felt it, you understood it, and you're like, ooh, I would never want to piss off the
Yeah.
Queen Mother. Mm-mm.
Especially the fact when she was stripping her rank away, like I was like, how dare you? Like she literally went, did so much and defended Wakanda against her own husband. But when, Ramonda was like, yeah, I lost my whole family, literally lost my whole family. I have given everything. I've done everything. Like, who is anyone to tell me that I have not as well deserved as much as like of the right to do what I need to do for this country? And it's like she's right. You know what? As much as Okoye didn't mean to like lose Shuri or fail at her job, like she's pissed. Ramonda's pissed. Like she's not meaning any jokes. Like this isn't like another rescue. Like, you know what? No, this is her last like family member. She doesn't have a husband. She doesn't have a son. Only has his daughter, and she failed on protecting her like she promised. So it made a lot of sense. It made a lot of sense. I do like the fact that. But now that we talked about that, let's go back to what we were going, because I feel like we do need to address the elephant in the room.
Namor?
Namor is not a villain.
Okay, I want to hear your arguments as to why he's not a villain, and then I will share my thoughts.
All right, so I feel like Namor is not a villain. I feel like they're misunderstood. They're underwater, and they've gone through a lot, especially from the history of how they were to become the beings that they are right now. They had to leave the Earth because, I mean, the land, because of what has, like, they had no other resources. They needed to recuperate. They were sick, and so they spent a lot, their generations, especially him, for being so old. He's not as old as we think he is. He's a lot older. So he has been years and years and decades of trying to protect this big, huge community that lives underwater that nobody knows about, due to the fact that he's been keeping it a secret. And not only did T'Challa go ahead and release information about their resources, but they didn't really think about the precautions what would have happened for in general. I know they didn't know about this community, but imagine like something that you've been protecting for years and years and years, and it just gets shown all over the world. Like it's a little bit of like a letdown. So he doesn't have the same mentality as we do these days. Like you may want to protect your family and however you want to do it, but he has a whole entire like community and people that have been following him that he's in charge of. Like he's been doing this for a long time, so it's a lot of pressure on him. So I feel like he will do whatever he needs to do that may come out villainish. But Shuri did the same thing. Shuri went ahead and said, yes, it was an attack back, but if you don't play fire with fire, especially from where these people come from, like you don't see Black Panther doing that. He did have a slip where his dad died, but they don't go and seek out war. And that's what Shuri did. She went and sought out war, just same way that Namor went ahead and got his army. So I don't think he's a villain. I just think that he just crossed the line. But it's 50-50 in my point. You can as well see it from the other side and think that Shuri is a villain.
So my take on putting Namor in the more villain type role is that even as a child, and you're right. So quick background on Namor, he is a mutant. Basically, the vibranium plant that we know that exists in Wakanda may have also landed in the Atlantic Ocean, maybe with the same meteor or a different meteor. We never got real clear clarification about how it came to be, but it was founded by the Talocan people, and it was ingested by many of those people, including Namor's mother, who was pregnant with him at the time. And so Namor was born as a mutant. He's got pointed ears, he's got literal wings on his ankles. And so he's of both the surface world as well as underwater, where he can survive on both. He can breathe air, he can breathe underwater. You know, that's his kind of thing. And you're right to say that, you know, he is there to protect his people and to keep that nation a secret from the surface world. But think about when his mother died and she wanted to be buried in her hometown, in the Yucatan Peninsula. Wow, I can't talk today. When they do go back to the surface world and they see that her hometown's been colonized by the conquistadors, Spaniards, what have you, and then they're just kind of like, whoa, where did y'all come from? Okay, they start, you know, firing, and Talocan people fight back, but they burn the whole hacienda down, right? And Namor's just kind of like, I don't like these people. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my world, stay quiet, do my own thing, mind my own business. But this is where I say he's the villain, because when he enters Wakanda completely unannounced, okay, through the waters, and says to the Queen and Shuri, I need you to go locate the scientist who's created this device to locate vibranium, because they found the vibranium in the water, right? And I'm going to put a pin in that because I want to come back to that later. And says to them, basically, because he's not going to get his hands dirty with the surface world, he wants the surface world people to take care of this. Go find the scientist, who turns out to be Riri Williams, a prodigy at MIT, and bring her back to me so I can kill her. That's not villain-like. He wanted to kill a 19-year-old girl.
Well, didn't as well the Wakanda wanted to get the killer of the father to come bring him to Wakanda?
Maybe not Wakanda, but
He did. In the
So,
first
hold on,
Wakanda, they
hold
were
on.
chasing him
So
to
with-
kidnap him.
So with T'Challa, because he witnessed his father die, and they went off based on the first information that they had, saying it was Bucky, not Bucky. It was Baron Zemo. And you're right. He had a sole mission to go after that one person, but he wasn't going to go burn the whole surface world to make that happen. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He had a personal
I agree with
vendetta, but it wasn't to the way of waging war with everybody.
Okay. So let me go back on that, because I understand. I'm not trying to prove you wrong. I will settle for anti-hero. But the reason why I don't want to go straight villain is because, not to say ageist or anything like that, but a lot of people who are in their older ages, they get tired of bullshit. They go ahead and get tired of what happens, and we always say, "Oh, they're just like that because, you know, they're older. You know, they can say whatever."
Set in their ways.
Yeah. Well, that again, he is a lot older. Isn't he like centuries old? I don't forget how old he is.
I
But
think he was born in the 1600s.
So he's
I can't remember.
centuries.
He's old.
Yeah, he's well over seasoned. Like,
Listen, I like that seasoning.
so he's over the bullshit. He doesn't care for it. So the reason why he wants to kill Riri Williams is because she went ahead and created something that was against them. It was because she has this knowledge of doing so, and he's trying to cut off any loose ends. He doesn't want her to replicate it, or the possibility, because even when Shuri was like, I'll take her into Wakanda, like, we'll keep her in Wakanda, he goes, no, I can't let that happen, because the potential of her recreating that or leaking out of information of how to create the machine to find vibranium was just too great of a threat. So that's why he wanted her dead. It wasn't because he wanted her dead just because what she did, was for the possibilities of what could happen afterwards.
Sure.
So
I can
that's
get with
the
that.
only reason. It's like, you know, we have to cut. It's not more. Think of this.
No more.
No more.
But
Speaking of that, somebody pointed out that it's kind of ironic that he got his name due to the fact of allegedly because sin amor, which means without
without
love.
love. Mhm.
Yeah, but somebody pointed out that he as well could have used the name amor from con amor, with love. So either way, you could have used the name. So it doesn't really apply so much to back that up of how he got his name. So there should have been a better reason why it was Namor.
We can just go with Kukulkan.
He loves saying, he says it every single
Kukulkan.
day.
Kukulkan. I loved how M'Baku had said that.
Right.
No, I love when he was like bald-headed demon.
Bald-headed demon.
One of my favorite parts. So before we move on to the next thing, I mentioned I wanted to put a pin
Mhm.
in about Riri's device. And this is actually not my original thought. This is actually from my husband, John. He's real techie. He's into the sciencey stuff. And we discussed this at length about Riri and the device. So again, Riri is a 19-year-old prodigy at MIT. She, for a school project, designed this device for whatever class. Okay. But somehow her plans were passed off to the CIA to create this device to locate vibranium. Now, I don't believe she actually did create the device solely to locate vibranium, because that would mean she needed to have a vibranium resource in order to test out the device to make sure it actually worked. So my question now, and this is just an open-ended question, not just to y'all, but if her device was originally one thing, who passed it off to the CIA? Was it the school? Was it the professor? Was it the CIA director? Like, who got their grubby little hands on these plans? And then how did they get vibranium
CIA.
to test it out?
So I actually thought about this. I feel like we're gonna find out in the Ironheart series. I feel like it's gonna go in deeper into what happened. I forget her name. Please correct me because I don't remember. But the lady with the purple hair.
Countess Alexa Valentina.
Valentina.
Whatever her name is. Yeah,
I'll go
she's
back.
got like a long name.
I'll go with
Julia Louis Dreyfus.
Yes. She, I felt like, has some connections and she knows some people. So I feel like they pushed Riri, knowing that she was smart, onto creating a certain detector that detects certain metal, or at least that kind of substance of metal that doesn't get detected by metal detectors. So they kind of like, you can't undo it. Like they kind of pushed her to do it. She made it. The teacher knows Valentina or Valentine, whatever her name is, and gave it to her.
Vale.
And then had her people like look for it.
Maybe it's one of those, it's one of two plot holes in this movie. This is the major of the plot hole, the way I view it. And again, it's not my original thought, but it is something that I wish was better explained. But if it is explained, let's say in the Ironheart series, which I'm very much looking forward to, I hope we will get that. But I thought that maybe Valentina would have something to do with it, just because she's so shady.
Yeah, and her upcomings are like literally about to like release. The Thunderbolt movie is about to release within a few years, and all these cast members are starting to gather together. So I feel like she's gonna be the big mastermind of what nobody expected her to be. So I feel like that's part of it. I feel like in Ironheart is probably gonna go in deep conversations about how did the CIA get this information about Riri's project. And as well, I think, Michael, you pointed out that you heard rumors that Shuri is gonna be in Ironheart series.
I heard that too.
So there might be more information coming up. I understand where you're going with plot holes, but at this point, if it's not a big, huge like gap, I don't really look too deep into it, because things in life, sometimes things happen without an explanation. So I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I'm gonna hope for the best that Ironheart goes more deeper in that. But I do want to go ahead and say that Anna Reyes just subscribed to you. So
she did. I saw that. Thank you so much, Anna. And to answer your question really quick in the chat, if I've opened a Wizarding Trunk / Potter Collector collab box, yes, I've done 2 lives on it, including the holiday box, which was done a couple weeks ago. And no, I have not opened any Accio boxes because I am not currently subscribed to them. I'm limiting myself to being subscribed to only one subscription box, and that is solely the Wizarding Trunk.
Which we do have a Wizarding Trunk video coming soon, hopefully. And by saying coming soon, we have not even recorded it yet. It's an old box from like the summer. We just like I said, with Harry Potter, we just put a big pause to it. We have not recorded the video for it. We might start going ahead and subscribing. We were there for the live of Brittany's recent one for the Halloween. It was a Halloween box. Holiday. Oh, the holiday. Yes, it was keep collecting.
Yes.
Which we were really spoiled with like a lot of like information of what's to come.
You heard it there first, literally.
By both Peter and
the Wizarding Trunk and Danny.
That was chatting.
Danny of Wizarding Workshop. Dustin.
There you go.
Yeah, Dustin.
I was like, yo, Brittany's getting all these like information in this live.
Listen, I'm very blessed, very grateful. It's really cool. It was really fun. Definitely go check it out. And thank you once again, Anna, for your subscription. It means a lot.
Yes, and then Amber says you really won't regret it. She's awesome. Also, check out Watchers in the Basement. They cover a whole slew of media and shows to movies. Yes, I still have not watched the Interview with the Vampires. I will go ahead and watch that very soon. You guys sold it to me. You sold it to me. I was debating on watching it. So I will watch the movie first and then hop on it. And if I really do like it, I probably will pick up a book. But no promises.
Do it. Do it.
Yes, Valentina will be doing Thunderbolt.
She is.
Mephisto will be in iHeart series, allegedly. That's
gonna be crazy.
I'm tired of hearing about Mephisto, but I am very excited because it's not gonna be all about technology. I like Iron Man. I did like it. I wasn't a huge fan of it, not because it was bad, not because of anything of the cast. It's just like that kind of movie style is not my favorite. I love like Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch. Like I love more of that, and even comedy. But I'm not a huge fan of the technology or like certain combat. But in this Ironheart series, they will be playing technology versus magic. So I cannot wait to go ahead and see that. But it could be Mephisto, but I've heard so many times Mephisto will appear and he's never made an appearance.
I know. We, again, over on my podcast, The Watchers, we had theories that Mephisto was going to be in WandaVision because it just would have made sense. And then we were let down.
It would have. Wonder if they will use Shuri for Pepper Potts' role. Oh, like backing her up with the technology and being her psychic? I don't think so.
I think they'll probably keep it separate because in the comics, Riri was supposed to be Tony Stark's protege. And they changed things up in the MCU to have Peter Parker / Spider-Man more or less be Tony Stark's protege. So I think with Riri, they're going to stay true to her being, kind of heavily influenced by Iron Man. And that's why you see the suit the way you see it in the movie of Wakanda Forever. But I think because even I think you guys mentioned it last time about Tony Stark being an AI for her. And I don't think that'll happen because RDJ will just overshadow Dominique Thorne. And I would love to see him back in the MCU. Don't get me wrong. Like I would absolutely love to see him back. I just don't think it'll happen. I think that chapter with RDJ is done.
So I want to agree with you because I feel like he's done so much for so long, but it has been rumored for quite some time now. And it seems like he might be making a comeback. I do understand where you're coming from, that he probably will overshadow. I think if anything, what they would do is use his voice. He'd probably be like the new Friday or what was the voice for Vision?
Jarvis.
Jarvis, there you go. I think he might be that. And then towards the end, I feel like his AI projection will come out, like how they did in Endgame, where his
maybe
hologram was out of the helmet, because that's how it is in the comics as well. Like there's him as an AI. So I feel like eventually they will do that. But I feel like to not overshadow, they will probably give him very small amounts of camera and then as well use his voice more than anything.
It's possible. I mean, if you look at what was done in Obi-Wan, a Star Wars story, a TV series, rather, they had Darth Vader voiced by James Earl Jones, who is the original voice for Darth Vader, but it wasn't actually him, the actor. It was kind of just, treated voice treatments and, lines being said and things like that. So maybe it's a possibility, but
Yeah,
I
he sold
don't.
his voice.
Right. I don't directly think we'll see RDJ, but you know what? I will happily welcome back with open arms because RDJ is just amazing.
Yes. If you need someone to ramble about the interview when you do I'm here first, I will.
Yes, she is.
If anything, I'll get you both, and then we'll have like a big chat on Instagram, and we'll talk all about it.
Yay.
Yeah. Shoot. How dare you? How dare I forget a great character? What character?
I know. I think there's like a side conversation going on in the chat. Mephisto. Oh, I did hear about that. Yeah, okay. I did hear about that. I don't know how true that is, but we shall wait and see.
I remember there was a rumor about Dr. Doom was going to have credit scenes in his appearance, and Marvel confirmed that didn't happen, which I'm glad it didn't. It makes us more hyped and patient. Yeah, so there is a big confusion that's going on with like how the pace that people want it. There are people who are complaining about it going too slow, and other people who are complaining about that it's going too fast or too much content. And I really am happy that it didn't do Dr. Doom, because I don't think that it would have set well. I feel like, especially the fact that we just got, even though it's not going to be the playing the character for Mr. How do you call him? Mr. Fantastic? Is his name? Mr. Fantastic for Fantastic Four. Mm-hmm. They had the variant in Doctor Strange. It would have been too much in 1 year to show Fantastic Four characters without really going into that. So I'm glad they didn't do the appearance of him.
Yeah, I definitely view Phase 4 as a rebuilding and an expansion of the MCU. So
rebuilding, but with knocking it down, because I was crying a lot with Phase 4.
A lot.
Every single movie and show, like WandaVision with the Vision, like Scarlet Witch with Vision, I'm sorry. And you had Spider-Man with Aunt May.
It's a very emotional phase for sure.
Shuri had Shuri had the most of it all. Like it's like back to back. That's like, my God. Can I take a breather?
So I wanted to ask y'all with that in mind about Shuri, because she's emotionally gone through a lot. Take it back to Infinity Wars, where the snap happened, right? And T'Challa was gone. I'm assuming Shuri was gone because we didn't see her even in Endgame until they were brought back. I'm not sure what happened with Shuri, if she was part of the blip or not, but Shuri went through a lot, and then kicking off this movie with the loss of her brother, and then like a year and some change afterwards, she loses her mother. So to think about her character arc, all the grief that she went through, do you think she's justifiably not in her right mind, but do you think she in some way, not unstable, no, but for her to seek the revenge that she's seeking, do you think it's justifiable based on everything that she's experienced?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she also felt guilty for T'Challa's death. So with that on her shoulder, plus the fact that her mom died, I feel like she's also feeling guilty, because if it wasn't for her, that wouldn't have happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like you kind of have to see that kind of growth in although it feels like it's really quick because it's a movie, even though it's been a year since T'Challa's death to her mother's death.
But she was grieving for a year. Like she
was grieving nonstop.
Well, not even grieving. I wouldn't even want to say grieving. I felt like she didn't even want to grieve. Like she was putting it in the back of her mind when T'Challa died, because she just wanted to burn the world. She wanted to blame the world. She literally just could not get over it and did not want to talk about it. That's the reason why when they were at the lake, Rhonda was like, we need to burn our clothes from the ceremony so that we can move forward. And she's like, no, like there's no point. She trying to not move forward. She wanted to avoid it. So I felt like with her mother's death, it was just like the last straw. Just going through a lot. And as well, when they revealed at the end of the movie that she had a nephew, it was just like she has an extended family, but it's what I felt like to her. It was like like I don't know how to feel anymore. Like I've been through so much, and now this shocker. It's like I want to be happy. I am happy, but it's like I've also lost so much. Like I felt like she was just like breaking down. Finally at that moment, I felt like she was grieving for sure. Like moving forward and going to the next chapter of her life.
Mhm.
I don't think she's gonna be Black Panther like how T'Challa was. I feel like if anything, she'd probably be like with the powers, and continue on doing what she needs to do on the side. But let's see what happens because I feel like the whoever is the ruler is the one is entitled to have Black Panther power and be considered as the Black Panther.
So I think it's been confirmed by Winston Duke, who plays M'Baku, that he is the new king of Wakanda.
Mhm.
We saw that at the end of the movie with the challenge ceremony at the waterfall. I always love that exterior; it just looks so pretty. And you would think Shuri would have shown up to, for challenge day, but no, it wasn't her in the ship. It was M'Baku. So I think it's safe to say, because Winston Duke, as I said, has confirmed it, M'Baku is the new king. But I think Shuri will keep the powers of Black Panther. I think she will be Black Panther when it's deemed necessary. I don't think she wants to be ruler because that was never in the cards for her. She's the second born, and she had her technology and she had other things she wanted to do. But you don't have to be the ruler and Black Panther in order to, do what you do. You can have separate people. And I think she will defend Wakanda to her last breath. But now that she has a nephew that is in Haiti or Haiti, I love how they say that in
Yes.
the movie. It's so wonderful. Just the
It's
different
like Hawaii.
dialects.
Hawaii is not Hawaii though.
It's
Like
Hawaii.
it's actually Hawaii.
Hawaii. Yeah.
Or Hawaii.
Yeah.
I forgot how they say it, but
Yeah. So to comment on Shuri learning that T'Challa has a child with Nakia, she went throughout this whole movie grieving, wanting to get revenge and avenge her family, if you will, right? She lost her brother and she felt guilty because she couldn't save him, even with her wealth of knowledge and technology. Because Shuri's supposed to be like one of the top 3 people, the smartest 3 people in the world. Okay. T'Challa himself was like a genius in the comics and taught everything that Shuri knows. So yeah, you feel some type of way, but like she lost her brother, but she also gained him back in the form of her nephew, right? Because he's also named T'Challa. And I think it's
I love
beautiful.
that. Prince T'Challa.
Prince T'Challa. Prince T'Challa, son of King T'Challa. And I'm like, oh my God. Like again,
because we lose T'Challa, like the character. We don't really get to really spend with him in the MCU for so long. So having somebody else come in without really technically replacing him with the name T'Challa just gives us that sense of like somehow getting the character, even though it's not the same actor or even the same character in a sense. But Young Avengers are going to come soon. He could be possibly part of the Young Avengers when he comes to his age. And going back to what you're saying, I do think that Shuri will stay with her powers, but I do think there's going to be another Black Panther. There's going to be 2. But we do have. Oh, you want to say something?
Oh no, I was just saying. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I think passing the mantle on to Shuri, the sister, I think is great because that's something that's actually done in the comics as well. When T'Challa I think he's in a coma for some reason. I can't remember the storyline, but he's incapacitated for a period of time, and she assumes the mantle of Black Panther. And so, if they keep with that, I think that's great. I said that even when we learned of Chadwick Boseman's passing, I said, well, they better give it to Shuri. Like to me, just a sense of, empowerment, like women empowerment, I think is awesome, obviously. And to just kind of carry on that tradition. Because Shuri does struggle with tradition, but taking on the mantle of Black Panther is part of their culture and their tradition. And I think she'll do well if she, keeps up with it. So
we do have a question here. It says, how do you feel about Shuri seeing her cousin and not her mom? So I do have my opinions on that, but I do know for sure you have your opinions. So I will let you go ahead and say yours first.
So Christian at the top of the show was talking about, one of my favorite moments in this movie, and it was definitely the cameo of, spoiler, seeing Killmonger in the ancestral planes when Shuri does take the heart-shaped herb, which is something she was able to create using her technology. I'm not going to go into all of it, but she's able to synthesize the molecules and everything and create it. Anyway, so she takes the herb and she sees in the throne room, not her mother, who literally just died like 2 days before all this happened, but she sees her cousin, Killmonger. And I sat up in my chair and I said, F yeah. Like, I was just so excited to see him again because I understood why they chose him, or she chose him, because it's up to the drinker who they see in the ancestral plane. I understood why she subconsciously chose him, because he too had this sort of vendetta of I'm going to do right by burning it all to the ground, right? He burned all the heart-shaped herb. He wanted to take down the people who have done his people wrong. And he wanted revenge, just like Shuri. She wanted revenge. And so you liken those two people alike. And it kind of helped understand her character arc. But I don't know. I love Michael B. Jordan. I was so happy to see him on screen again. It warmed my little heart. I'm like, yes, give me more Killmonger, because this is what I think about villains in general. This is why I think Thanos, Killmonger, and Scarlet Witch. I say Scarlet Witch carefully, not Wanda, but Scarlet Witch, and even Namor for that matter. They all make great villains because in their own mind, they're the hero in their own story. And I think that's what makes these characters just phenomenal. That's it.
I can hear you talk for hours.
Oh, sorry, I can talk. But
no, I love it. I literally love it. As Michael, I literally love watching when you guys. That's why I was so upset the other day that I didn't watch the Watchers Marvel. I was like, why did I miss it?
Listen, you can go back and watch our rankings. We talked for like 2.5 hours right there. Good God.
Going by my opinion, I was kind of bittersweet about it. I did like the fact that they brought him back, because they brought somebody at least from part 1 back, especially the fact that T'Challa wasn't there. I was a little upset that they never did anything with the presence of T'Challa in these moments. I understand that we're moving forward, but if you watch the trailer for it, there is a line from T'Challa from part 1, and I was expecting they were going to use at least recycled or footage or even audio that they didn't use, at least when she was going into the trance. Just her going over, and you would have heard his voice, and she was expecting to see him, and then all suddenly comes to, and it's not him. It's actually the cousin, Killmonger. I would have liked to see that, because as much as I do appreciate how they were very sensitive on not using him as a money grabber of his death, in the absence of the beginning and the ending, I did like it, but I just wanted just one moment, that one, just to give him one chance to be in Black Panther 2. But I was also upset because I do not agree, and I still don't. I don't understand what was the necessity of this, why Queen Ramonda had to die. Like, I felt like if it was T'Challa still alive and she died, cool. It is what it is. But the fact that they already lost a very crucial role, and there was women empowerment in this movie, and they have lost, especially, oh my God, her freaking monologues. When she just like outpoured her heart, and it's just like, really? We're going to go there? Like, why? We already got Ame out of the universe. Like, why now Queen Ramonda? Like, I did not get that.
Very unexpected.
So I was expecting, you know what? The only thing that I can come up with is that when she takes in the liquid and goes into the trance, that she has to see someone. Unfortunately, Chadwick is not here with us, so he cannot portray that character to see. They could have used the father. I'm not too quite sure if the actor for the father wanted to come back or if he's alive these days. I really have not looked into him, but I was expecting to see then Queen Ramonda, Angela Bassett coming in, but they showed Killmonger. I was like, what the heck? But again, I do appreciate. I do understand
about that.
Shut up.
Listen, Michael, we're here. Okay,
Yeah,
we're here.
We are.
And I'm here.
Who are you?
let Michael and I have a moment.
But I do understand. Her heart was more in the vengeance stage, especially back to back death. I get it. I get it, but I don't like his. Not that I don't like Michael B. Jordan, I don't like Killmonger. Like Michael B. Jordan does a very good job on me wanting to hate a character, and I do not like him.
Then he did his job well.
Yeah,
he did his job.
He did his job well.
It just makes me so mad to see him. I'm like, oh, this guy again.
Yeah. But like I said, because he and Shuri felt some type of way, they both wanted revenge, and you match them better by doing that than her seeing her mother. I mean, she eventually does see her mother but in that moment where she has to make a decision whether or not she's going to kill Namor or not, and having Angela Bassett come back from the ancestral planes and to say the line, show who you really are, like that speaks on a level to Shuri that she's forever, I think, struggled with, because like I said, she struggles with tradition versus science, and that's actually very true with today's world, right? Not to get really political or social and that kind of thing, but you can see the parallels between the two. But for Shuri to ultimately make that decision of, I'm not going to be like Killmonger and get the revenge. She looks at Namor and says, yield, and basically we'll work together to preserve both of our nations. And that's it.
Yeah, I love the fact that as well she said, show him who you are. Or was it you are or who we are?
Show him who you
I think you.
But I feel like she said something like that previously and said, show them who we are. And I don't know if it was at the beginning of the movie or in Black Panther 1, but I feel like I've heard her say something like that before, which I felt like it was a good...
She said it when T'Challa was on challenge day to M'Baku, I think. Or was it when he was challenging Killmonger? I can't remember, but she did say it in Black Panther.
Okay, so movie. It was like another reference. I felt like it wasn't just...
It's a callback.
It was like, it was something that to tie into the movie, and I felt like that was such a great line. Like, show him who you are. It's just like very great. I love it. Anna says that she called it actually when Queen Mondel's death. I had a feeling she was gonna die right before I watched the movie. Sadly, same. I was expecting it. I was expecting it more early, but it didn't happen.
I wasn't at all.
I wasn't expecting it at all. I was literally shocked when that happened.
Michael's heart was on the floor. Like, I literally saw him, and it pained me to like be there, because I was like, I don't know what to tell him. Like,
I was so shocked. I did not know how I was feeling.
He was like Santa does not exist.
I mean, this movie is a roller coaster of waves for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what a fun waves.
Yeah, no, it really made you go through the ringer of emotions. And like I said, I was emotionally solid up until the mid-credit when we saw the little boy, and I'm like, oh no, they did not. They brought back a child. And when he said, I am Prince T'Challa's son of King T'Challa, and I'm like, we're done. We're done. Blubbering, crying, mocos, not really, but you get it. Like, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I think that scene alone really elevated the work of this whole movie. I mean, the movie was great. It's a long movie. It's a 2-hour, 45-minute movie, but that one scene alone just made the movie that much better.
It just stole it all. I know a lot of people were like kind of a little angry because there was not a really of an Easter egg or something that was going to happen showing the next movie. And I told you, I feel like the way the movie ended, even the mid-credit scene, was just suffice, because if we would have had something more extravagant, I feel like it would have robbed away from what we just left the theater with. Something that we're mourning ourselves of a great, not only actor, but a character. So I think that it would have been too much to show something like, let's just say Scarlet Witch coming back or something like that, like, or another actor, Dr. Doom.
She's coming back.
Oh yeah, for sure. She's not dead. Sure. You can't kill her.
This is what I've learned about TV. Unless you actually see them on screen dying, not a cutaway, not something else gets in the way, they're alive. They're alive.
True. And even if they do die, it could be possible that Jane Foster will come back due to the fact that she has been brought back in the comics, and I don't think they would have invested so much in the movie for her to die in Thor. Spoilers to anybody who didn't watch it. Have you watched it?
Oh yeah, of course.
Well, gee, I saw your face. I was like, did she watch it?
Oh, listen, I have to watch all the MCU stuff for
Thank
the
you.
pod. So yeah, like
She came and did her homework, people. But yeah, I honestly think she would come back, especially if Thor is not coming back. Come on now.
I
Come
mean,
on.
this is Phase 4 kicks off the now multiverse saga. We're in the multiverse. We can see variants. We saw that with Loki, with the show Loki, with the TVA and everything. So yeah, I mean, it's very possible that we'll see these same characters from as different versions of themselves.
I don't think
maybe.
she's coming back as a multiverse. I think she's coming back like reincarnation.
I mean, we'll see, but I think still a good way to bring these characters back is, like I said, through the multiverse, and we saw that with Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. So yeah, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm very much looking forward to what Marvel has in store for the rest of this, phases with 5 and 6 that are fast approaching. I saw a rumor of supposed projects for even Phase 7. But again, these are all rumors, nothing concrete.
He's signing for 3 movies, so let's go.
Let's go.
We do have another question from Eric. I forgot to get this one. How would you feel the relationship with Shuri and Tony Stark would have went if they had met?
Oh my gosh, it would have been, I think, like Tony and Dr. Banner, just doing the science thing, doing the techie thing. I mean, again, Shuri may not have the PhDs like Dr. Banner does. She might not be a billionaire philanthropist playboy like Tony Stark was, but she and T'Challa are some of the 2 smartest people in this world, and you peg them up against other people who are equally brilliant. I mean, miracles are going to happen if this did ever happen. But sadly, as of now, we won't get to see that. That would have been really cool to see, though.
Yeah, and I do. Speaking of like the intelligence of them, I do like the fact that because I felt like they didn't really show T'Challa's like smartness or of how he was as well in the technology field, such as Shuri was. I felt like it was really good that Shuri kind of planted and said, I learned everything from my brother, and I was like, wow, like
Yorai.
Oh my gosh. Let's see, going back down here. I thought the 2 were going to do an arranged marriage, Shuri and the Wind God. Oh my god. He's a little too old for her.
And by little, we mean centuries.
Yeah, but you never know. You guys have not watched Charmed. We did have Leo who married Piper, and that boy was old. But
never saw Charmed.
My lord!
Sorry,
watch that.
It's amazing.
I've also never seen Friends.
Oh my gosh, Brittany, this is life supposed to make us grow together, not apart.
It's okay. That the MCU brings us together.
Yes, that is true. They had characters who died in Infinity War but came back in Endgame. Who
died? Like actually died, not like because of the snap and they disappeared, but like who actually died?
Oh, well, they did have Thor's mother, but that was just like an appearance but that was in the past. She didn't.
But that was in the past because they went through the whole quantum.
Unless that's what it means, like having some type of like moments of.
Yeah, I mean, Vision died because Wanda killed him, but then Thanos used the stone to reverse it and then actually kill him by removing the Mind Stone from his head. And he's kind of reincarnated in WandaVision.
At the end, yeah.
Spoilers at the end, White Vision.
Which she's supposed to come back allegedly in that War Machine movie. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, really? Is it supposed to be War Machine?
Is it War Machine or is it?
I don't know.
Something?
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about.
I know it was supposed to be a series, and now it's going to be a film. So that's a different story as well.
Okay.
What if Wanda comes back into Agatha's show? I do think she's going to make an appearance, and if not,
I think so as well.
If not to steal away from Catherine Hahn's character or any other upcoming ones, I think she'll probably make an appearance at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that she will either be literally there or an Easter egg of her presence still alive, because come on now, she put her into that spell. And who's gonna break her spell? Because the last time we checked, Agatha was under a mind spell that she was the nosy neighbor. Hey
That's
there, hon.
that's what I
Hot
wanted.
stuff. Hot
That's
stuff.
what I wanted answered after the Scarlet Witch died in Multiverse of Madness. It's like, well, what happens with Agatha? Is she like, is the spell broken? Like, can she be free to do whatever she wants? Like, does she still have any powers after
another
Wanda
one.
took them off? Like, I don't know.
I do think that she still has powers. I think that Scarlet Witch probably took everything from what she has stolen.
Yeah.
Like everything that she probably has, but like with like nature, everything grows. So the fact that Agatha has not been using her powers, I feel like her true powers probably is gonna grow. Probably Mephisto comes back and gives her more power. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm so excited to go
We have
ahead.
to get Mephisto first.
Yeah. Well, allegedly they have Tommy coming back, the character, not the actor, but
Oh,
grown
talking about
up
one of the
as a
sons.
yeah, as an adult, which begs me to question so many things. Where's Billy? Why are they teenagers? Where's Scarlet Witch if these boys are back to life? So many questions. They already casted him. He's casted.
Well, and they're supposed to be part of the Young Avengers too. So like, I don't know how
Exactly.
that's
So
going to play out.
I thought in Doctor Strange she was gonna, from what I've seen, when you create magic and it gets diminished, it's never really diminished. It's like whatever you save on your computer and you delete, it's not really deleted. It's backed up somewhere. So I saw something about that with magic. Whenever you create something and gets taken away, it's not really taken away. It's been put somewhere in between worlds or something like that. So I thought she was gonna get them, especially the fact that she heard their voice saying "Mom, help! Mom, help!" That I thought that she was gonna bring them back into actual reality, knowing how to do her powers. Because a lot of people are confused about her powers. Her powers is not, she doesn't just create things momentarily, temporarily. She can create things and put into permanent. She is Nexus being. She actually can make things be real.
She can make matter.
Yeah, but the fact is that she didn't control her power. She didn't know, and especially the fact that Agatha was putting all this in her head, like, oh, whatever you created, you can't fix. She can fix it. She just doesn't know how.
Yeah.
So she possibly could bring them back soon. But let's see what happens with that. We may get to see Reed Richards and Shuri meeting. True.
Probably so. Also, not the biggest fan of Fantastic Four. Sorry.
Well, they haven't done them justice. I mean,
No.
the old Fox movies, like with
Chris Evans.
America's ass and New York's ass, apparently. I don't know.
Yes.
When they had that on Jessica
America's ass.
Jessica, what's it? Jessica Alba?
Yeah, Jessica Alba. Love her.
I love the movie for what it was. Like those eras, like that's what Marvel movies were to me. Looking back and comparing to MCU, of course, it's not the greatest. But when they tried to do it the last time with Michael B. Jordan,
no,
so well.
Hard pass. Hard pass.
It was not only rushed. I felt like the movie didn't make too much sense. The characters were not there for me. I just didn't get it. And it was too like forced into their ways. Like one's a bad boy, the other one's a smart one. He's flirting with the smart girl. Like it's like I don't know. I just didn't like it. I did not like it. I did not like Dr. Doom. I didn't like how it ended.
It's forgettable.
Yeah.
It's forgettable.
What are we talking about?
Damn it! I was gonna say that.
But didn't they put some of the plant stuff into Shuri? The plant stuff that created the winged god. Yes.
The vibranium.
Yes. Which is a different color, I believe. It wasn't.
Yeah, it's not. So the vibranium that we're familiar with in Wakanda gives off a purple heart. It's called a heart-shaped herb, and it gives off a purple sort of glow. Whereas the vibranium plant that's found in the Atlantic Ocean, where the Talocan people are located, it was more of a blue,
like a turquoise kind of dark.
Yeah, it's like a turquoise aqua kind of color. It's very pretty. And that kind of translates to their skin color when they emerge from the water. And Namor is the only one who doesn't have this sort of mutation, even though he is a mutant, because he, like an amphibian, can breathe underwater as well as above the water. So yeah, it's really interesting how that went about. And again, there's a real, like, it's not long, but it's more technical way of how Shuri was able to recreate a synthesized heart-shaped herb in order to consume it. So
It was just
Yeah.
basically the DNA. She
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
really intake what was in the bracelet
Yeah.
or the herb, but it was just like looking at what that herb had from their from Talikans and comparing it to what was in already in T'Challa's blood to see
Mhm.
what was compatible, what would make sense for to recreate
Mhm.
the herb.
Yeah.
And they had a Secret Wars which should bring Shuri in Fantastic. Wait, FF4?
And I was like, Fast and Furious 4? What?
I was like, "Ooh." I think it's Fantastic Four, but he wrote the number again, I guess, as part of it.
There's just so much to look
I
forward
think
to.
Secret Wars is what Vision comes back in, actually.
Yeah, I've heard rumors.
I don't know where
There's
he
just
comes
a lot
back.
going
He's
on.
He's coming back. He's coming back somewhere. I
Yeah, he's
also
coming
want
back.
to see Invasion. The Secret Invasion is it was called, right?
Mhm.
Oh, cannot wait for that.
Yeah. Yes.
I want this like album.
Okay, yes, Secret Wars will be like Endgame type. Yep. I've
Mhm.
heard that now back with Kang, the 10 rings and the bangle from Miss Marvel could lead to connection with Kang and especially the circle domes that's inside the city of kangaroos. Yes, the big circle things where his chairs
Mhm.
are. That is something that a lot of people are pointing out. It could
Mhm.
be the fact that they all kind of connect in the same technology or mystic arts or whatever.
Mhm.
They're all be connected. So I cannot wait to see that. And it could be a fact that I forgot her name, but Ant-Man's girlfriend's mother.
Oh, you're talking about Hope's mother. You're talking
Yeah.
about Van Dyne.
Yes.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Character. Let's just say that.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
She has met Kang before,
Yeah.
which is why in the trailer you see like, oh, there's something I never told you about before. So it
Yeah.
could be the fact that she probably stole something from him in order to somehow get back because she was falling in the middle of nowhere. And why is it she never mentioned it? She's probably really scared of Kang. She did not want to talk about it. So it's very, very cool to see what's gonna happen now. Especially her character, because they never
Janet
really
Van Dyne.
Janet Van Dyne.
There you go.
So much.
Thank you. Michelle Pfeiffer.
How do you feel this film will be set up in third in the series? What film?
Black Panther. I'm assuming if that's what you're referring to. It's hard to say. I know that there are plans to have a third Black Panther installment, but we also just have to see how the character is going to work within the bigger storyline, along with the other Avengers and things like that. So it's hard to say at the moment, but I'm hoping they'll bring back Ryan Coogler as the director because I think he's just done a phenomenal job bringing this very beloved character into life and what it means for so many people out there. I mean, Frank, who's on the pod with me, I know he saw it 8 or 9 times in theaters. He brought a youth group to the theaters. And so, I mean, Ryan Coogler's just done an amazing job with the Black Panther films. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing a third installment whenever that may be.
I hope it's soon. I hope they don't take so long how they did this one.
It's going to take a while, I'm sure.
I hope not. I really do because I felt like this one, obviously, because of COVID and the death. Like I feel like they need to like get into the flow, or at least have her character come back. Shuri, like being the Black Panther. We need to see more of that. I don't want to grieve anymore. Of any kind.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Phase 4 is no joke. Phase 4 was just too much.
It's emotional.
Very emotional. Very, very, very emotional. But
yeah, with the Guardians holiday special that just dropped yesterday, that I will be watching, that we will do a review over on the Watchers Pod in case anyone's interested. Sorry, I have to put in that plug. That actually concludes Phase 4, so we're now stepping into Phase 5. I don't remember specifically when I saw Black Panther third installment, if it's going to be in Phase 5 or Phase 6, but I think it will take a while just because I don't think Marvel anticipated when they were bought by Disney that they were going to not only have to create movie content, but also content for streaming. So they have a lot of things that are going on with like, mini TV series, television movies, things of that nature. There's just a lot. And I'd imagine fatigue is going to play a big part in all these people's lives at some point. But you know what? In Kevin Feige, we trust.
But to say that we have seen some like rumors happening that they're gonna the way they've been testing out these special editions of shows or movies or however you want to see it, they are seeing that people do like them, so they probably will start investing more in the special editions than actually having a 6 to 8 9 10 episode series just to get characters introduced and not have so much of like non-informative of episodes, because a lot of people were mad, especially with She-Hulk. I personally like She-Hulk. I'm still a little bit upset because I felt like it wasn't really that involved like how the other ones were. It felt more like a sitcom, which I still loved. I do like it, but those who don't like
it's
that,
the MCU's first sitcom.
yeah, a lot of people were really like, where's the action? Where are we gonna get more? Like, and people did not like, especially that last episode of She-Hulk. So
listen, I was happy. The only reason I watched She-Hulk, Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock as Daredevil. That was the only reason I watched that show. It's not my favorite show. Was it entertaining? Sure it was. I love how she breaks the fourth wall, much like how Deadpool does. But I was just there for Daredevil. And you know what? I think they did a great job bringing him into the MCU. I cannot wait for his show that's going to come. Is it a show or is it a movie? Doesn't matter.
It's a show.
Give me all the Charlie Cox.
Daredevil Reborn. Yes.
Give me all of it. I'm ready. I think 2025. I think it's 2025. Yes, I'm so ready.
I'm banning you.
I need it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, I understand what you mean by She-Hulk. I don't particularly care for Hulk in general, so I wasn't excited about She-Hulk. But you know what? I gave it a shot. I didn't have expectations, and I enjoyed it. Even the last episode, I enjoyed it. I liked how they addressed the elephant in the room and things like that. I thought it was great.
I love the fact that they showed her very empowered and not the predictable woman. Like, and she kind of addressed it. Like, she was drinking a lot. In every episode, she was drinking.
I felt that.
She had some good involvements going on in her bedroom. So I love I love the fact that just didn't make her that like the goody two shoes girl. Like, they made her seem like, you know what, men are not the only ones who can be, living their lives. Yeah. Women can too, and she's not a typical superhero, which I love the fact, because she was never meant to be a superhero. Nobody is, but all these other superheroes, they like live with it and they deal with it. But she was like, I don't want this. It's not what I signed up for. Yeah. And you see her struggling, trying to like find her way. So I love it. Yeah. But we are gonna wrap up. We hit the hour mark. Don't want to go too much, take everybody's time. I do want to say thank you so much to Brittany and everybody who has been joining us, but especially Brittany. I appreciate you coming on here, and you are more than welcome to hop on anytime and do another Marvel. I love talking Marvel with you. Woo!
Likewise. And thank you all again for inviting me. This has been a lot of fun. I didn't realize that an hour went by so quickly. Of course, when you're talking and having fun, and everyone in the chat, obviously giving their input, talking about rumors that they've heard as well. I'm here for it. Totally here for it. It's been great. Really enjoyed talking Black Panther Wakanda Forever with y'all, as well as other MCU shows and movies.
Oh yeah, we'll be doing this more. I'm telling you, I miss doing lives or podcasts. Like, I just love talking to people. It gives me more to do because I don't really talk to many people in real life. Honestly, I work. I'm a bit of an introvert, so believe it or not,
would have never guessed that.
Exactly.
Would have never guessed that.
I don't talk too much. But I do talk a lot when you get the what's the Pringles commercial? Once you pop the top, the fun don't stop. That's basically what it is. Once you like got me going, I will not stop talking.
Michael, is that true?
Very true.
He wears earplugs to shut me up.
Aww.
I don't.
We're just playing. It's for the dogs.
I just tell him shut up. I'm kidding.
Well, yeah, I tell my husband that too, but when he's snoring, and then I have to kick him.
Oh, do you really kick him?
Yes. Yes, I am a light sleeper. I need him to shut up so I can sleep.
I've done that before. I'm like,
goodness.
He has hit me. He has punched me in the face.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose, but like it was
on purpose.
I'm like, what the heck was that? Anna, before we do go, she did say Kingpin is gonna run for mayor and could make some changes like this no superhero thing and could cause problems for Matt and lead to the next part of that story, which will be Spider-Man 4. That is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, because Kingpin is not dead. Again, we didn't see it happen on Hawkeye. He's not dead. He alive. And also, Vincent D'Onofrio is freaking amazing. Give me him as the villain all day, every day.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I'm hoping they'll also bring the other two that worked with Matt on Daredevil. If they're dead in that series, don't tell me anything. We have not finished watching it.
Oh, you're talking about Froggy?
Froggy and the girl. Don't tell me.
Okay, I won't say anything.
Don't say anything.
Yeah.
But if they are alive in that series or they're still connected, friends, whatever, hopefully they're in the next one. But no spoilers, people.
I mean, he's got a friend in She-Hulk, so
that's not a friend, girl. That's a booty call.
Still friend. Friend with benefits. Just on the other coast. It's fine.
Oh, to Food Cat. I worked at Disney for a short period of time. So did Michael. That's probably why you thought that, but we were working there as part-time. That was last year.
Yeah, and then I also worked for Universal.
This year.
That was
beginning of the year. Yeah, that was not. So we're just sticking with Amazon and staying to that. I got promoted since then. It's fine. We're all good and dandy here. It's gonna be a year in January of my position. So
yay.
But as we said before, thank you so much. Stay tuned for the next one. Oh, speaking of that, if you guys are knowing of the past 2 years, we did do the cookie battle, which was called Deck the Cookies. Every single year. Last year, we almost didn't do it, but we did do it. So we kind of continue it. This is technically is the third annual of our cookie battle, which is not really a battle. It's just like we all try to like do our best and showcase it off, and nobody actually really wins, but it's all for the fun of it.
Are you gonna do it?
I have to look at my schedule with December. It gets very busy for me with the weekends in December, especially with work. And it's graduation season for where I work. So all hands on deck, that kind of thing. But I will let y'all know. It sounds like fun. I'm not the best at decorating pastries, let alone cookies, but hey.
You should go back at the lives.
One of the ones, Mike had to wear blindfold, and his cookie came out so much better than his cookies that he saw it, and we didn't know why.
Oh my gosh!
It's That's challenges. Great. We do different themes on on the wheel, and then the third round, that we come up with a twist to it. So I think one time was that you can use red, another one was the blindfold. Like there's just certain twists that we had to do, or had a star in there somewhere.
Didn't we have to do some Harry Potter decorated ones?
Yes, there was one. So you never know what we're gonna draw and what will happen. So stay tuned to that, guys. It will be
sounds like fun.
3 different Saturdays in December. Possibly Brittany will be joining on, but there are other people as well. And I know Brittany's gonna be in the chat. If not, she'll be rewatching it. So check out for her comments. But again, watch her channel. Look at her Harry Potter craziness that I just admire her, especially with the Wizardry Trunk reviews, and as well on her other channel with how many people? 5 people.
We're now at 6.
There you go.
We're
so 6 people.
Yeah, we welcomed some. Yeah, thank you. Yes, please, if y'all haven't done so already, go subscribe to Brittany's Magic Trunk here on YouTube, as well as the Watchers in the Basement. I'll be sure to leave a comment in on this video, and don't forget, y'all, to subscribe to MCdorks if you already haven't, and also give them a like on this video. That way, they can do more lives like this. Once again, bring it back. Bring it back.
We'll be back.
That's a great question. Who would win, Doctor Strange or Albus Dumbledore?
Ooh, Doctor Strange.
Wait,
that sounds like a pod for another day.
Oh, we'll be back soon. All right. Thank you so much for popping in. And remember, stay dorky. Bye, everyone. Good night.
Bye, y'all.